Record. It says to press record, and then that means filming will begin. Filming will begin on the terror train. I thought, I haven't talked about Terror Train yet. I watched Terror Train the other night, 1980 Terror Train. Seen it a couple of times before. I hadn't watched it for about a year. Let me put my light on. Oh, my light's in the other room. Oh no, it's just over there. Let me go grab my light, Jamie Lee Curtis, Derek McKinnon, Ben Johnson, Sandy Curry. Now, there's a bit of a thing in this where Sandy Curry looks a lot like Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh yeah, Sandy Curry looks like Kenny Hampson. I mean, Derek McKinnon, Sandy Curry. Oh, no. I just realised what Google's done. I just realised what Google's done. They've done something really annoying. Like, that looks like Jamie Lee Curtis. Look what they've done. That actually got me. Hart Bochner. Now, I looked up his bio last night, and he's the guy in Die Hard. To my vague memory, he says, I haven't seen Die Hard in more than a decade, but he says, look at it, he just gave his friend up, he just gave him up. Something to that effect. Oh my goodness, he just gave him, come on, come on. And then he just let him, look, it's really bad, I haven't seen the movie in over a decade, but he plays Doc Manley. Okay, now the thing about Terror Train. So as a kid, I was going to say the American system. It's the college, sophomore. I have to research this one day. I'm not good with my sophomores and my things. It's a very different system to here in Australia. Let me get my thoughts. Now, there's a kid and they're sophomores, whichever they are, and they're like haven't been with a girl before, and just say the word virgin, and I've got to have a sip of my tea. Now, so there's this one guy, and the prep guys, the college guys, the older guys, they've been setting this guy up for a prank, and Jamie Lee Curtis reluctantly takes part in this. She doesn't really want to. She takes part in it. And the kid goes upstairs, thinks he's going to get laid, and he doesn't get laid. And what they do, they've got this thing in the bed, this corpse thing in the bed, and the guy gets traumatized from it. And from what I can gather of the scene, he severely hurts himself or ends up in hospital. I don't think he dies. He just ends up in hospital. He ends up in hospital. Because he's in the movie. Oh, spoiler alert. There's a spoiler alert. Now, I watched this movie about a year ago, and then yesterday I thought I'll come back to it. I was excited to come back to it, and alright, I love train movies, and especially train movies. I think this is set. I'm not going to read the bio, but I don't like researching things too much about movies, unless I get really fanatical about it, like Mad Max 2 or something. I generally just like to figure it all out from the movie. This movie, it seems, I think the train ride is set somewhere in Europe. It could be America, but I think anyway, it's an overnight train ride. It's a travelling by train set at night, and now from start to finish, the characters in it are almost intolerable. I find I'm telling you what I think about this Heart. David, oh, by the way, I should mention this. I mentioned it because like yesterday, I'm like, you got to admit. Yesterday I said, I suppose I got to mention it. I just got to mention it. It's one of those things I should mention. David Copperfield. I don't know if this was his movie debut. David Copperfield plays the magician. He's also the richest magician in the world. And presently, David Copperfield plays the magician, and he's got an interesting screen presence. David Copperfield. It's odd, it's eccentric. So is everyone in this movie. Everyone in this movie has a weird screen presence, and David Copperfield does well in this. I want to talk about. I really want to talk about Hart Bochner. He's done a few movies. He's got an arrogant presence on screen, and he also played that arrogant guy, the obnoxious guy in Die Hard. He looks a little bit like Tom Cruise, and in this he's interesting because he's highly obnoxious. His mates are highly obnoxious, and Ben Johnson in this, he plays the conductor. He plays the main train guy, and why I was able to watch this movie from beginning to end was because I think that I just enjoyed every moment of thinking, fuck, everyone in this movie, almost all the characters in this movie are unlikable. There's a few likable ones in there. There's a couple of the girls, the blonde girl. There's a few of the girls in there. What keeps the story going? And it's actually a good pacing. But what keeps the movie going is actually the unlikable characters. They've got this unlikable edge about them. The acting in the movie is actually it's good. And Jamie Lee Curtis, let's talk about Jamie Lee Curtis. She plays Alana Maxwell. Jamie Lee Curtis, now until recently, the only movies I've ever been able to handle Jamie Lee Curtis in is I tried to watch Halloween. I don't know, a month ago. I can't even remember if I got all the way through it. I think I got all the way through it. I always have difficulty with that movie. It's the 6th of the 6th. It's a 6th of the 6th, 2023, 6:10 p.m. No, in regard of Halloween, I got I stopped watching after 8 minutes. I'm not engaged by that movie. No, I stopped watching after about 8 minutes. I find Jamie Lee Curtis to be very annoying. I have in the later Halloween movies, like the later ones, done a few years back now. So shall I even look it up? Halloween 2021. Halloween Kills. And then the one before it. The one where at the end of the movie Jamie Lee Curtis has had this underground fire trap in her house, and they get Michael Myers into there. Anyway, I find Jamie Lee Curtis extremely annoying, and this was, I was able to verify this for myself by her Oscar speech, which was earlier this year. I thought it was overbearing, wasn't humble. In this movie, her acting is fine, but she's bearable. I suppose she's bearable. The characters in this players in this, the actors in this movie. I like watching them because of how unlikable they are. Borderline intolerable. Once again, it's a 6 out of 6. I know why I liked watching these. I know why I liked watching this movie with those characters like that, because it's an 80s movie. I just have a thing for 80s horror, 80s movies. Fascinating. This Hart Bochner guy, he's good. He's interesting, and the character that he plays in this movie, almost it's the unlikable preppy guy in the fraternity. That's the word I was looking for. Well, fraternity. I couldn't think of it. Fraternity. These fraternity guys. They're not. Unless you are that age and in that mindset. Because I'm 30 years away from that, and I won't watch it again. Because I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, okay, I remember this now. I didn't remember it, or I remembered it. And so what happens? 3 years goes by. They go on a big train ride to celebrate the end of college, and this guy who they made the prank on comes back and takes them out one by one, and that's the movie. And David Copperfield is doing his show, and his assistant. I'm a big, honestly, big spoiler. David Copperfield's assistant. You know what? Let's at least look who this guy is that played that guy, right? Kenny Hampston. Derek McKinnon. He played Kenny Hampson, and the assistant to David Copperfield. That's him. He's just dressed up as a woman. Yeah, that's it. Just a journey with a bunch of fraternity guys on a train. Hart Bochner. Hart Bochner is good. I think he's a good actor. He's interesting. That's it for Terror Train, really. Yeah, that's it. Anything else I can think of to say about it? Not really. Yeah. So, that's it for Terror Train 1980. And there's a remake apparently, 2022. I haven't seen it. Curious about it. Remake. It's a Terror Train, dark, eccentric, 1980 horror movie. That's it. That's it for Terror Train. And I hope I didn't go over 10 minutes with this. I go, Alright, thank you for watching. Yep.